While we wait. How's my audio data? Alright, audio sounds fine. I sound fine. Jeez. Alright. Oh. I really want to model something else right now, but since it's overlapping with the cat stuff, might as well come back since it's been 7 days and figure out how to make a multiple curve shape. But the other one didn't really count. But this one should. I just have to find a good one.
Starting a part from a sketch is usually one of the first steps in creating parts in 3D CAD applications. The same is true in Onshape. The difference comes from Onshape's ability to remain flexible with a sketch. In other CAD applications, 3D features generally do not tolerate untrimmed or disjoint entities. Onshape's unique handling of sketches and their closed regions leads to faster, more capable part design. Start a new extrude feature. The extrude feature requires faces or sketch regions to be selected as the basis for the extrusion. Selecting an entire sketch from the feature list creates an extrusion from the outer edges of the sketch, while treating any interior regions as negative space. In this example, there is no need to trim the sketch despite the presence of multiple contours. Often, a feature is driven by a portion of a sketch instead of its entire geometry. In these cases, select a specific closed region or combination of regions from the sketch. Unlike other traditional 3D CAD systems, you don't need to enable an additional option to leverage this capability. In some cases, it makes sense to drive several features with a single master sketch to maintain their parametric relationships. To do this, select the correct closed regions for the current feature. Closed regions are indicated by gray shading within their interior. The extrude feature does not consume or nest the sketch under the feature in the feature list. Instead, the sketch remains where it was created and automatically hides. It can be used for subsequent features or parts within the Part Studio. To reuse a sketch for subsequent features or parts, toggle its visibility by clicking the eye icon beside it in the feature list. Hide existing parts to select the desired sketch regions more efficiently. Onshape follows the same logic when creating other types of features. For example, the sweep and revolve features also enable either an entire sketch or specific closed sketch regions to serve as the basis for the feature. When designing complex part studios, the feature list inevitably grows longer as more features are added. Locating specific features for updates or modifications can become cumbersome with a lengthy feature list. Fortunately, Onshape provides tools that assist with filtering and organizing. Folders help organize not only your Documents page, but Part Studios as well. To add a feature to a folder, right-click the feature name in the feature list and select Add Selection to Folder. Onshape creates a new folder that contains the feature. Expand the folder to see its contents. You can add additional features to the folder by dragging and dropping them onto the folder name or within the folder's contents. Similarly, remove features from the folder by dragging them elsewhere in the features list. To remove all contents from a folder, right-click the folder in the feature list and select Unpack Folder. If you delete a folder before unpacking, you also delete all the features in that folder. Be careful when dragging features into folders, as dependencies can be affected if you insert a feature into a folder higher up in the features list. Folder contents follow the same history-based order as the rest of the feature list. At the top of the feature list is a text field labeled Filter by name or type. As described, this field filters the feature list by the name or type of feature. For example, searching base reveals the initial extrude feature named base, while searching for extrude shows all extrusions in the feature list, regardless of whether they contain the term extrude in their name. Add quotes to the search term to filter for features that match the name. For example, searching extrude 1 with quotes only displays a single feature, while searching for extrude 1 without quotes displays both extrude 1 and extrude 10. Hover over the text field for an extended period to reveal a list of special commands for this filter. Enter Part to filter the feature list by features that apply to that part. Enter Type to filter all features of that type. Enter Name to filter the features by name. Enter Errors to filter features with errors and a matching name. Alternatively, simply enter Errors to view all features with errors. Enter Folder to filter all folders matching the folder name. Enter Variable to filter all variables matching that name, or features that use the variable. The variable filter is case sensitive. The extrude feature is one of the most commonly used features when designing parts in 3D. It extends a sketch along a specified direction to create depth. Within Onshape, the extrude feature is versatile and creates a solid part, a surface, or a thin solid. Start a new extrude feature. Select a sketch region, sketch entities, or a planar face from either the feature list or graphics area. Once the sketch is selected, specify an end type. The blind end type creates an extrusion up to a specified distance defined in the depth field. Several up to options terminate the feature when it encounters a specific type of geometry you select. Each of these offer an additional offset distance field to create an offset from the entity driving the termination of the feature. Toggle the opposite direction arrow to change the direction of the offset. Through All terminates the feature at the furthest extent of any existing parts or surfaces along the extrusion path. Check the starting offset option to offset the extrude from the sketch or planar face used in the feature. Toggle the opposite direction arrow to change direction. By default, OnShape extrudes the feature normal to the sketch plane. Select the direction option to specify an alternative direction for the extrusion using a sketch line, linear edge, plane, or mate connector. Choosing the symmetric option creates an extrusion that extends symmetrically in either direction about the sketch plane. In this case, the depth specifies the total depth of the extrusion. When you require unique end conditions for either direction, select the second end position option and specify the end type. It contains the same options as the first end position. Select the draft option to apply a specified draft to the extrusion's walls. Toggle the opposite direction arrow to flip the draft's direction. To create an extruded surface, use the same techniques and options as a solid extrusion. The only option unavailable for extruding surfaces is draft. Unlike the solid option, you can create surfaces from open profiles. Select the thin option to create a thin solid. This technique applies a thickness to selected sketch entities. Thin solids also allow the selection of open profiles. Specify a thickness for the thin solid. Enter different values for thickness 1 and thickness 2 to apply varying thicknesses to the inside and outside of the sketch entities. Toggle the flip wall arrow to alternate which side thickness 1 and 2 apply to. Alternatively, create a symmetric thin feature by checking the mid-plane option.
I'm so honest. Oh man, well, what an episode. I was on for a total of 12 minutes, and I cannot stay awake. So, till next time, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.